What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going over my family's November 2023 budget, so let's get into it. Before I get started, if you like this budget dashboard, you can get it for yourself. It'll be linked in the video description. It is an instant download to Google Sheets and it comes with a detailed video tutorial. All right, so November, we are closing in on the end of the year, obviously, and we're just trying to stay focused and on track with our budget. So let's go over everything. These are all my family's real numbers. All right, for income this month, we have budgeted $15,023. This is a very high income month for us, and that's because my husband gets 3 paychecks this month, which is awesome. If you didn't know this trick, if you get paid every 2 weeks, there are 2 months out of the year where you get a third paycheck, and so those months are great months to get ahead on your financial goals, which is one thing we are trying to do this month with this extra paycheck. And so those months are great if you do get paid every 2 weeks. So that's exciting that we do have that extra money this month. For Pay Yourself First, we budgeted $2,654. So let's take a look at the breakdown of that. $900 is going to my husband's 401k, so that's $300 per paycheck. And then we are now moving on to our last financial goal of the year. We have already finished my Roth IRA and exercising our stock options. So we have budgeted $1,754 to go towards our house fund. We are hoping to buy a house sometime in the near future, hopefully. But until then, we are saving as much as we can towards our house down payment or moving expenses or extra emergency fund. However, that money is eventually going to be split. We're not sure, but it's just in one big pile of money called house fund sitting in a high yield savings account. Okay, and then for my husband's student loan, we haven't budgeted anything. I've been calling us debt free since May because we have enough cash to pay off my husband's student loan completely, but in reality it does exist and we have the money sitting in a high yield savings account as well. The interest rate on a student loan is much lower than we can get on the cash and the high yield savings, so we are trying to take advantage of that difference in interest rates. But it is a private student loan, and if you have federal student loans though, and you are making a payment on your student loans for the first time this fall and that you haven't done in like 3 years, I highly recommend you follow Student Loan Planner. They are experts in everything federal student loans, and they have great information on their website. They've got free calculators to see if you're on the right plan. And then you can also book a one-on-one consult with them where they'll not only tell you if you're on the right student loan plan to maximize your money, but other tricks of how to pay the least amount to your student loans. So I've been following them forever. They're so good with keeping up with all the latest that's going on. It's such a complicated system. So if you are not following them, you should, and I will link them in the video description. Okay, so moving on to expenses. So for taxes, we have budgeted $2,400, health insurance, FSA. That's all paycheck deductions because we are doing budgeting with our gross income. If you want to budget with net, the amount that actually hits your bank account, then you don't have to include all these things in the expenses section. You can use the budget spreadsheet to do gross or net budgeting. So storage is $212. Actually, I need to change that. That's $258 because it just went up. We are trying to downsize our storage unit, but that's in process. So hopefully we can get that down to be like maybe 25% of that or less. Because we do need storage while we're living in this apartment, but we don't need as much as we have. We are cleaning everything out right now. So rent is $3,225. Life insurance is $50. This actually is going to be increasing probably because I'm in the process of applying for another life insurance policy. I currently have a term life insurance policy and I'm applying for another one to add on top of it. Back a few years ago when I first signed up for life insurance, I used Policy Genius to get my policy and I had a really great experience with them, so I'm using them again. And the reason for this is a couple things. One, I've got 2 kids and I watch them full time, and if something happened to me, my husband wouldn't just be able to keep doing the work that he does and watch them. He'd need to have money to put them into like full-time daycare and all that stuff. Plus I do bring in money from my business even though I'm not the primary earner. So if I weren't around, that would affect things. And then also inflation has caused things to cost more. So between all these things, we just felt like it was a smart move to increase my life insurance. If you want to check out Policy Genius for your own life insurance needs, I will link them in the video description. All right, so internet and cell phone is $115, home security $28, car insurance is $113, Spotify is $11. Groceries, we are still budgeting $1,200. Honestly, I think this needs to be more like $1,300 or $1,400. I think like we've just been buying the same things we've been buying and our grocery bill is still going higher. Like I know inflation is supposed to be leveling out, but I'm finding things to continue to go up in certain areas with groceries and also gas. I'm gonna put this at $2.50 actually. So gas has gone up and we've been just going a little more places. So I wanna make sure our budget is keeping up with our needs. So I'm gonna hold groceries at $1,200 for now, see how November goes, but we might need to up this. And then for utilities, I did budget $600, but I'm actually hoping this will be much less than this for two reasons. One, it's fall, and so we use our heating and air less. We're actually having to switch back and forth between them because it gets so cold at night and then so warm during the day here where we are in Massachusetts. So hopefully our utility bill will be lower because we're using less heating and cooling in the fall. And then also I signed up for Arbor, which is a service that finds you a better rate on your utilities. And so we hopefully are now starting our new billing cycle in November where that new rate applies. And so hopefully we'll see that savings in November. So I'm really excited. And if you want to use Arbor, I will link them in the video description. It's a free service with no cancellation fees. It's like no risk, and they'll just research rates for you and see if there's any better ones in your area, which I didn't even know was a thing until recently. Okay, and then miscellaneous, we have budgeted $125. I think that should be enough. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, moving on to sinking funds. So we have $150 for my husband, myself, and my two daughters for personal spending money. We usually put $1,000 to school and activities. And someone asked me this recently, like, what do you mean by school? My daughter is 4 and she goes to like a private preschool daycare. When she is 5 next year, she will go to public school for kindergarten. So that expense will go down. It's part-time, but the reason why it is $2,000 this month instead of $1,000 is I just kind of want to be done with it for the year. And so because it is a high income month, I'm just fully funding it for the rest of the year by putting $2,000 this month. And then in December, when I think we have a pretty low income month in December compared to this one, it's just already taken care of. And that's part of why I love sinking funds, because you have flexibility to do things like this. So we are putting $2,000 into it. Most of it goes to her school expense, and then some of it is for some activities she does. And then we've got $250 for my cat miles. And then for a birthday and Christmas, I usually put $150, but we had like a random extra amount in our budget. But actually I do need to go back and check. So let's change this actually down to $139 because I had upped a few other things in our budget. So I need to decrease this now. So usually we put $150, we put a little extra last month or a little under this month. That's fine. We'll finish funding it in December. We already have almost $500 in there already at the end of October. So that'll be fine. So that is it for this month's budget with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have you done your budget yet for November? Comment below and say yes if you did. I love to hear you guys are budgeting, whether you use my system or not. Just I feel like budgeting is such a great tool to level up your finances like overnight. If you're not already budgeting, budgeting just gives you so much clarity and control and like really empowers you in terms of how you use your money to put towards the things that are most important to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon in the next one. Bye.